That's the wrong sound effect.
I was like, what?
Hey, what's this? You hadn't heard that one yet? All right, here we go. Good morning, Fort Worth. It is 18 February. You've got Andrew and Demetrie on the line today. Good morning, Demetrie.
Good morning, good morning.
How you doing today, brother?
Yeah. Doing great.
A little nasty outside. If you haven't figured that out yet, it's drizzly and the temperature is going to be falling all day. Little pro tip. Make sure you fill up your tank today because it's going to be bitter cold for the next couple of days, few days. We'll get into that in just a moment. I also want to pull open our analytics report and tell you who our international listeners are. This is something that I'm always fascinated with, and I want to thank our friends from Over the Big Wet Spot for listening in for who knows what reason, but apparently there are people abroad. Of course, 99% of our listeners are right here in Fort Worth, and we appreciate you guys tuning in and making this part of your morning. If you guys ever have an event, a birthday, an anniversary, anything, contact us. You can either take an audio clip, you can email us, you can call us, whatever you want to do. Just hit us up at media@fortworthroots.com for our email, or call us at 817-988-1292, and we are happy to get you involved with the show. That's what this is all about, folks. We're just trying to connect the community early in the morning. Of course, we do more than the morning show. We also record every week out at McFly's Pub in front of a live studio audience, and you guys are very welcome to come out and join us. We've got that live audience microphone set up for you so that you can get involved in the conversation. Now, we're going to be out there today at 5 p.m., and we're going to keep it going until, I believe, 8:30, 9 o'clock. We got two guests for you. I'll get into that in just a moment. Let's get into your weather report. 49 degrees. Let me start over. 49 degrees today for a high, 13 for a low, 63% chance of precipitation. Currently raining outside?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Wednesday, here it comes. 25 degrees for a high, 12 for a low. And here's the other really important factor you need to pay attention to. 20-mile-an-hour northern winds. Winds out of the north at 20 miles an hour. It's going to be cold. Greg Abbott, there was some news story. I passed over it because who cares? Wheels of glory. But he's talking about, hey, Texas, like, get ready. It's going to be bad. Thursday, 31 degrees for a high, 22 for a low. Friday, 37 for a high, 26 for a low. No precipitation Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, looks like. Saturday is 52 for a high, 32 for a low. And Sunday, we start getting into more moderate temperatures at 66 for a high, 41 for a low. And then next week, we start moving into the 70-degree temperatures for a high. Okay, moving on. National Day of. Demetrie, this is my favorite National Day of. We do this segment every Monday through Thursday out here at Hoppin for our morning show. This episode will be released at 8 a.m. like they always are, and you can get it on whatever platform you like. But this is my favorite National Day of so far. You want to read that top line for me?
Cow milked while flying in an airplane day.
We're clicking on it. We only click on the good ones. All right, so this day in history, 18 February, cow milked while flying in an airplane day is celebrated annually on February 18th to commemorate the day a cow named Nellie J, which later became Elm Farm Ole, became the first cow to be flown and milked in an airplane. The event was part of a scientific effort to study the effect of height on cows' ability to produce milk. In the 72-mile flight over Bismarck, Missouri, Ole's milk was put in paper cartons and parachuted down to the spectators to generate publicity. The trip was also meant to show the ability of the new Ford Tri-Motor aircraft that had only just begun shipping after its production began in 1925. That is one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
Just imagine just some milk floating down to you. Just looking on up, you see a little parachuted paper carton milk.
I don't get it. I don't understand it, but I love it. All right. It's also Gambia Independence Day, National Battery Day, National Crab Stuffed Flounder Day, National Drink Wine Day. Go careful. Go easy. And then Pluto Day. We discovered Pluto today. I got to click on this one too, sorry. Pluto Day, February 18th. Pluto Day is celebrated annually to commemorate the anniversary of the discovery of Pluto in 1930. Okay, Well, it's not even a planet anymore, so who cares? All right, moving on. Our news story for the day, the first news story of the day, is from FortWorthReport.org, and this story is by Nicole Lopez. Fort Worth sewage sludge fertilizer leads Johnson County to declare state of disaster. This didn't sound good. Johnson County residents took a calling on local officials in 2022 after noticing issues with their health and livestock. They believe those issues are connected to biosolids fertilizer made from Fort Worth's sewage sludge. Ever wonder where your doo-doo went? That was applied to nearby farmlands. Now, commissioners say the 200,000 resident county south of Fort Worth is in a state of disaster after discovering disturbing levels of contamination from PFAS, commonly known as forever chemicals, stemming from use of the fertilizer. Yeah, they're using your doo-doo for fertilizer, folks. Anyway, read on at fortworthreport.org. Thank you. All right. We didn't get invited this year, but the annual, what do they call this thing? Annual meeting, Fort Worth's annual meeting. The article is labeled Fort Worth Tourism Impact Sets Record for Tax Revenue Generated by Visitors. We set records every year. Every year there are more visitors coming into Fort Worth. This is also by FortWorthReport.org, written by Bob Francis. Visit Fort Worth took some time to give itself roses on Valentine's Day for the city's record-breaking tourism impact over the past year. During its annual meeting, the city's tourism arm touted the tax revenues generated by visitors to Fort Worth, which have increased 47% over the past 4 years. Damn. We are all part of the visitor economy, said Bob Jameson, while slipping a 20 in his pocket from the mayor. I made that last part up. President and CEO of Visit Fort Worth, from hotels and restaurants to banks and insurance companies, from the National Cutting Horse Association and the mighty equestrian community of Will Rogers, to the curators who have made Fort Worth museums an art mecca between the coasts. Mayor Matty Parker noted that as Fort Worth nears the 1 million population mark, the city's success will continue. But numbers are only part of the equation. Anyway, I'm sure it got deep. I'm sure people had to pull their boots up. FortWorthReport.org. Thank you to Mr. Bob Francis for that story. You guys can read on. It does continue. FortWorthReport.org for our next story. We're running out of areas to cut. Fort Worth area school districts brace for no state funding bump. Uncertainty looms over Fort Worth area school districts' next budgets. They're waiting to see how the Texas legislature shakes out and whether lawmakers tap into the state's $24 billion surplus. Okay. All right. So, warning, we're out of money. Just kidding. We've got $24 billion sitting in the back to boost public education funding. Closer to home, the Tarrant Appraisal District Board is adjusting its reappraisal plan, a move that could lower school property tax revenue. Regardless of the outcome, school district leaders say they're preparing for the worst-case scenario as they assemble their budget for the 2025-26 academic year. This all sounds like we're just moving money around and everybody's just kind of full of shit, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so anyway, the reason I highlighted this story is because it's been at least once a week now where they're talking about moving funds around or shutting down schools or so on and so forth. But what's going on?
Yeah, Fort Worth ISDs is struggling right now.
I guess so. And they just got $24 billion hiding under the mattress. So, okay. Hard to feel concerned or sorry for you. I don't know. But they are, making it harder for educators and increasing the size of the classrooms, it sounds like. So, whatever. All right. Here's our good news story for the day at goodnewsnetwork.org. Story by Andy Corbley. Florida man survives gator attack after neighbors drive over the beast with an SUV. It's a little bit of a long story. I'm going to read the whole thing. A pair of Florida residents are set to enjoy a show by former Tonight Show host Jay Leno as a deserved reward for snatching their neighbor from the jaws of death. Or perhaps it should read the jaws least by death, because at the time they belonged to a massive American alligator that ran down Rick Fingerett walking his dogs down their Naples Street. Occurring after dark on Friday, April 19th of last year, Fingerett was passing a pond in which he had seen alligators lounging every so often when he felt a tug on the leashes of his 2 dogs. They might have been Labradors and fit for all kinds of emergency situations when trained, but this was an 11-foot long gator sprinting with its mouth open towards them at probably close to 10 miles an hour. Speaking with the Naples Daily News, Fingerit recounts a nightmare scenario with stunning clarity. He starts by saying, he began to back away fast. I tripped in all the frenzy, as you do in every horror movie, right? And the minute I fell, he claps his hands together to simulate the gator's jaws closing. He got me. Apparently, the pair lay on the grass for several moments, the gator unsure of what to do next. Every so often, you'd feel a lurch, Fingerit said, a tug. He wanted to move me, but he couldn't. I was bigger than he had anticipated. I wanted it to know that I was there. I had a lot of fight left in me, and I was very conscious of not passing out, because the minute that would happen, I would be done. He started hammering at the beast's scaly armor, poking its eyes and trying to pry open its jaws without any luck. Without a shadow of a doubt, the strangest part of the story came in the next part, which Fingerit narrated. His dogs lay at his side, silent and probably frozen in terror. Somehow he managed to keep a hold of their leashes the entire ordeal. Next, neighbors Walt Reuter and Paula Keegan were driving by when they saw and heard Fingerit on his side next to his dog screaming for help. They thought he had fallen and broken something, but after the dogs moved a little, they saw the unmistakable shape unchanged for 300 million years. Mr. Reuter ran over and described a supernatural level of calm from which Fingerit instructed his neighbor to gather up his dogs, put them in the car, and then run the lizard over with it. Throwing his heavy Lincoln into drive, Reuter needed just one pass over the alligator's midsection, who terrifyingly held up well and ran down to the pond. It was over. They used a T-shirt and dog leash to stop the bleeding. Very ingenuitive. And the sheriff's department, which Reuter had called, arrived after. Let's see here. The 2 neighbors admit to being bonded for life after the experience, and Fingerit's nomination of Reuter and Keegan for the Naples Daily News contest saw them win tickets to Jay Leno's show at the Hertz Arena 2 weeks ago. The two men would later watch as the assailant was captured by animal authorities, which, being Florida, specializes in problem gators. Incredibly, the animal neither broke Fingerit's bones, nor tore any ligaments, nor punctured any arteries. It's crazy. Crazy. All right, so that's the good news story, but I just can't even imagine. Damn. And 11-foot long gator.
Yeah, that's a big gator.
Nah, thank you. Nah. All right. Our space news for the day also was in good news story. Mars rover captures video of colorful dry ice clouds drifting over red planet. This is by Andy Corbley as well. Maybe you were a kid, and I didn't know that Mars had an atmosphere.
I didn't know that either.
And apparently it does. Maybe you were a kid the first time you saw dry ice. Remember how strange it seemed compared to water ice? NASA's Curiosity Mars rover recently captured a short clip of dry ice clouds lit up with colors from the setting sun drifting over the red planet. Martian clouds are almost always made of dry ice or frozen carbon dioxide. 95% of the planet's atmosphere is CO2, but they form these iridescent feathery clouds only at low temperatures and high altitudes. Curiosity has for several years been climbing Mount Sharp, an 18,000-foot high volcano that formed at the bottom of the enormous Gale crater, and probably reached sufficient altitude to witness Martian clouds within the last few years. They are also called noctilucent or bright night clouds, as they only become so well lit during the glooming of the Martian twilight. Sometimes they even create rainbow of colors, producing iridescent or mother of pearl clouds, as seen in the image from 2023. I'm looking for the good news part of this. A possible source of clouds could be gravity waves, he said, which can cool the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide was not expected to be condensing into ice here, so something is cooling it to the point that it could happen. But Martian gravity waves are not fully understood, and we're not entirely sure what is causing twilight clouds to form in one place over another. I don't see the good news part, but I thought that was cool because Mars does have an atmosphere. It's just not breathable. Not yet. Come on, Elon. Do you know that one of Elon's plans to move to Mars includes nuking Mars to heat it up so that the ice will turn into,
Sounds about right.
I guess, water or something. I don't know. Anyway, he wants to nuke Mars. I don't know. Pull that trigger, dude. Go for it. If we're going to nuke anything, I'd rather it be Mars. So, Demetrie, tell us a little bit about Market Match, my friend.
Yeah, Market Match is a mobile application that conducts market research for companies to know what products, inventory, topics, anything is in demand. So if you have a retail shop and want to bring in some new products before you purchase, it will make you have the best informed decision. If you're a bar looking to bring in a new food, new beer, new alcohol, it will also let you know what your customer base wants before you actually make a purchase. So that way everyone wins. You're giving your consumers what they want, you're making more money, and then of course we're getting the brands where they're going to turn the quickest.
I love it, and I love that we've got a Fort Worth local making a bit of technology. I bring it up every time we mention Market Match, but 10 years ago, the cost of developing your own app was in the millions, I think. And so it's crazy to me that we've got a badass entrepreneur like yourself sitting here next to us that made his own app. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, and fun fact, only 5% of mobile apps become successful.
Really?
Only 5%.
So not everybody can be Angry Birds.
Not everybody. Yeah, you're very right.
This is way better than Angry Birds. It's more functional. You get to do things with it. But I think it's a great way to build a relationship with your customers. Because if, like, for example, Hoppin, where we record every Monday through Thursday, we got 58 taps on the wall. If a customer comes in and they don't see a beer that they want on that wall, they can use Market Match to let Hoppin know that they want that beer on the wall. And then Michael and Holly can take that information, put it on the wall. Next time that customer walks in, they see it on the wall and they know, oh, okay, somebody's listening to me. They care what my opinion is. That is cool. That's my favorite part of Market Match. All right, I wanted to tell you guys about the international followers real quick. Shout out to our new friends in Frankfurt, Germany, London, England, Paris, France, and Madrid. Is that Italy?
That's pretty dope. Is that Spain?
Spain? Yeah. That's cool. So we get little hits now and then from countries around the world, but those right there, those have been popping up pretty frequently. So we've got regular listeners out there now.
Hola.
We might get a little bit in Australia, a little bit of love in Africa. We get some in Canada. We've had some in Russia, Korea, all sorts of places, nice. China. But these right here, these have been showing up pretty frequently over the last couple of weeks. So to our international friends, thank you for listening. And we'd love to know what you find interesting about a show happening in Fort Worth, Texas. So if you will email us, we would love to read that email off on the show, or even better yet, take an audio recording, send it in. Our listeners would love to hear from you. Our email is media@fortworthroots.com. All right, what else you got going on this week, Demetrie? Because we're not going to see you until next Tuesday, right?
Yeah, I got some things in the works. Right now I'm talking to, if you're based out of Fort Worth, I'm sure you know about this, working with Mayfest to bring Market Match to Mayfest. And if you don't know what Mayfest has been going on for 50 plus years here in the Fort Worth Metroplex. They run it every single year in May, the first week of May. 30-acre lot that has many different types of food, drinks, artists, everything involved in the Fort Worth Metroplex. So I'll give you some more details once that gets solidified. Also, I know they are looking for some volunteers as well. I think the attendance, they said, can be around 15,000 to 20,000 people over the 3-day span. So looking forward to working with them, looking forward to actually going out there as well too and checking it out myself. But if you're in the Fort Worth Metroplex, I got some stuff on the line for you guys.
Okay, and there's another festival coming up April 18th, and I love this because they did such a good job with the read. Oh, hold on. Got to start over, folks. Apologies. Here we go.
Texas, get ready. April 18th through the 20th. Walk This Earth Music Festival is bringing some of the top roots bands in the United States to the middle of nowhere for a 3-day camping festival. This year's lineup features the Hootin' Hollers, Carrie Nation and the Speakeasy. Roots bands in the United States to the middle of nowhere for a 3-day camping festival.
Oops.
This year's lineup features the Hootin' Hollers, Carrie Nation and the Speakeasy, Pinata Protest, plus 30 more amazing artists. Walk This Earth will have food trucks, tons of vendors, serenaded hay rides, and contests throughout the weekend. Whether you come for the music, community, to make new friends, or just for the adventure, there's something for everyone at Walk This Earth. So join us on the Sloan Ranch, April 18th through the 20th for Walk This Earth Music Festival. Get your tickets right now at walkthisearthfestival.com.
Excellent. So you guys can do a fantastic bang-up job of a read like that and send it in and we'll play it. Or, you know, you can just talk to us. It doesn't have to be that great. That was wonderful, though.
Pretty solid.
Yeah. So tonight we've got Gabby Minton. We're going to be recording with her. And then I don't think it's going to be like a album release party teaser because she's got another album release party coming up. But we're going to have fun with it tonight. We're going to interview, I think this is either the first time we've interviewed Gabby or this might be the second time. I can't remember if last time we had her on the show, if she was there promoting JOE or if it was about her. I can't remember. But we love Gabby. She's been a friend of the show for a long time and incredible artist. So she's going to be out at McFly's today at 5. And then after we do our thing with Gabby, we got Kaylee Ryan, another Fort Worth artist that is doing a single release. And it's going to be really cool. We're going to have pizza for you guys to kind of entice you to come out and hang with us, and an audience microphone so that you guys can get involved with the recording. Stick it into your phone, your Google, your navigation, whatever. Just type in McFly's Pub, and it'll bring you to it. 1980s Back to the Future theme bar, and it's a fun way to have a good time on a Tuesday. We start early, we finish early. That way we can get you back to the house. All right, Demetrie, you got anything else for our friends out there?
I'm all good right now.
All right, folks. Well, thank y'all so much for listening to this morning's episode. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Again, we do it Monday through Thursday right here at Hoppin, down the street from Doc's Records, next to Blackland Distillery, and just north of the Target on West 7th Street. As y'all move through today, stay warm, fill up that car. Do it today. Don't procrastinate because it's going to be real cold. You don't want to be standing at that pump on Wednesday, I promise. As y'all move through today, we hope that you will choose love and gratitude every chance you get. Till tomorrow, folks. Good day.
Hold on, oh Lord, oh Lord.